Okay, good morning class. We'll be going over 1.3 segments, rays, parallel lines, and planes. Or you'll see skew lines actually. So we'll begin. So what we're going to be going over today, it's like I said, segment, ray, opposite rays, parallel lines, and skew lines. So first one, what is a line segment? It's part of a line. It has two endpoints. So yesterday we went over a line that went on forever. Here, we're going to go ahead and go through a line segment. So here, for example, if we look at it, we have multiple line segments. So we could say E to F is a line segment. Anytime we do a line segment, line right on top, no arrows on it. So it's saying it's coming to an end. We could say F to G. So there's a lot of, we could say G to H is a line segment. Then you could go E to G, and E to H. Line segment, line segment. So we could say F, we could say FE, you could switch order, we could say FH, you could say G to H. Oh, we already said that one. So you could switch the order. You could switch, say F to E, G to F, and go on from there. But a line segment just means it comes to an end. It has an end. So, which is different than if we said E to H with an arrow on it. That's what we went over yesterday. We said that's a line. It goes on forever. It never ends. So ray. So what a ray is, it has one endpoint and then it goes on forever. So say a piece of a line with only one endpoint, the initial point that continues on forever in one direction. So I want to name this ray right here. Our initial point is A, and it goes on, well, I'll go like this. A goes A to B. Our end point is A, and it goes on forever that way. So that's how we classify it, A to B like this. If you switch the order, if you went B to A, then our arrow would switch. It's going this way. Our end point is at A, and it's going off forever in this direction. Okay? So you must, biggest thing is just making sure that our endpoint is with the endpoint. So here, if we want to name a ray, we could say A to B. Okay? So ray AB would be A to B, our endpoint's at A, or we could name B to A. Opposite rays, so rays that go in opposite directions. So here, we could say our opposite rays would be Q to P and Q to S. Those would be our opposite rays. So Q to P and Q to S. It's a little bit off right there. But we would say Q to P, our endpoints on Q, and then Q to S, our endpoints on Q. So Q to P, Q to S, you could write like this, or you could switch it around again, but Q must be the endpoint. Coplanar lines that do not intersect are parallel lines. Coplanar means they are on the same plane. So they have to be on the same plane in order for them to be parallel. You're going to see some, you'll see an example later of a box that you have where lines aren't, where they don't touch, but they're not parallel. So coplanar lines that do not touch are parallel lines. Skew lines are lines that are not coplanar, not on the same plane, and do not intersect. All right. So they're not coplanar, they're not parallel, they do not intersect. For example, G or BH, right? On our box, G and H. There, we could, or say BH and then EF. Those aren't on the same plane and they do not intersect. So again, so if we're looking through this box real quick. Yeah. So if you go through it, we have A, B, H is here, we want to go through, okay, parallel lines. We could say, but you could say here, AF, so AF is parallel to BH. They're on the same plane. So when I'm looking at it, that's just the front of the box right here. So this is just one plane. So you could say AF and BH are parallel. You could say AB and HF, they're parallel. You could say B and H, C and D. So there's a lot of lines that are parallel. Coplanar, now, so they don't touch, but they're on the same plane, so that's not coplanar. So you could say, again, this front line here and this bottom line here. Okay, so you could say BH and FE. These would be skew lines. They don't touch, they're not in the same plane. Alright, so we want to name the top of the figure. So if you look at the figure, the top part, you could say JK. I'll name the front of the figure. So we could name it's this plane right here. So we could say A, B, J, and H. We could say HFAB. We could say HFA. Alright, that's from yesterday. We're just naming the plane. Name two skew line segments. So we could say A and F. So we're talking this line, and then we could say JK. That would be skewed to one another. They don't touch, they're not on the same plane. We could say G and E would be skewed to HV. These two lines would be skewed. I do want you to draw this figure as best you can, and then label, okay? These lines are skew lines. Go through and label. Okay? Name four coplanar points, so they're on the same plane, so you could do the bottom. F, E, G, and A. Those are coplanar. Four non-coplanar points, so you could go like this. So we want four, so you could go H, F, and A. Those are all on the same plane, and then just choose G, one that's not. Okay, so you could choose two that are on the same plane, or three that are on the same plane, and then one that's not. And that's probably the easiest way to do it. But you could do, you could say G and E, so you could say G, E, F, and K. Those aren't on the same plane, anything like that. Alright? So then we go ahead, same figure. Are the plane ABG in parallel, is parallel to what? So ABJ. So you could say ABG, so this back plane right here would be parallel to this plane right here. Okay? Are points A, B, and F collinear? So A, B, and F are collinear. Yes. Are points D, E, and A? So go ahead and find D, E, and A. Okay? Are they coplanar? No, they're not coplanar. D and E, we're talking about this back plane, and then A. So they're not connected. Our points C, K, C, G, and E. K, C, G, and E. So K, C, G, and E. Yes, those are coplanar. And then name the intersection of plane J, B, K, and J, H, D. So this is from yesterday. Planes meet at a line. So J, B, K. So J, B, K. So we're talking about this plane right here. Kind of the top slanting of the house. And then JHD, so JHD. So where does these two planes meet? Oops. Let me go back. Where do these two planes meet? This plane on the side, this one over here, they meet at this line, JK. So that's our lesson for today. So just remember again, skew lines are lines that don't intersect, but they're not on the same plane. Parallel lines are lines that never intersect and they're on the same plane. We had a ray, which has one endpoint and extends on forever, and then we had a line segment, which had two endpoints. So just, again, continue to organize your notes as you go forward.